After her disappearance, I'm back, and now my email list has grown to 2 billion people, and I'm ready to share my Sundance 2025 US Dramatic Competition movies, the Jason version. Yeah, I read that off the screen. This year, DJ and I split a package. We'd stream any movie we wanted, but we could only watch it once. So we got together, watched a bunch of movies: Atropia, Bubble and Squeak, Bunnylovr, Love Brooklyn, Omaha, Plainclothes, Ricky, Sorry Baby, Sunfish and Other Stories of Green Lake, Twinless. There's a point where I'm like, I watched 8 of them, so might as well just watch all 10 of them. I didn't separate it in categories of great, goods, and mez, because all the movies this year were mostly good. I thought a lot of them were fun, and maybe if I revisit them, I'll like them more, but so I just put it in alphabetical order. First one is Atropia, won the 2025 US Competition Jury Award at Sundance. It was one of my favorites. There's just some notable names that I saw in the movie. I got this from IMDb. Follows an aspiring actress on a US military base that simulates an Iraqi war zone. This was kind of like MASH, also a romantic comedy, which I'm a fan of, and it had an interesting world that I didn't know existed. It was original, cute, and funny. There were some Iraqi animatronics in one scene, and then in the Q&A we learned that they were real. They found them at the base they were shooting at. Again, I didn't even know this was real. I guess Americans, when we went to the war, we build these towns that look like a town in the Middle East or something like that, or Russia. Bubble and Squeak, this is from IMDb. Accused of smuggling cabbages into a nation where cabbages are banned, the clan and Dolores must confront the fragility of their new marriage while they're on the run for their lives. This is based on a play. Great cast: Nimesh Patel, Sarah Goldberg, I know from Barry, Stephen Yeun from Beef, The Walking Dead, Dave Franco, Matt Berry from What We Do in the Shadows, Laszlo. The premise was so out there, I figured this is either gonna be really funny or just I'm gonna hate this. Just roll the dice. That's why Sundance is fun. And I found it funny and absurd, and it stayed grounded in a weird way. I will say it did toe the line of Crazy Town for me. It didn't go over it, and this was one of my favorites of the year. I thought it was good. I wouldn't say it was great. I do kind of want to revisit it and see if I missed things. This kind of reminded me of Save Yourselves from last year or the year before. The thing I was missing for me is I wanted to know more about this world, because this is a fictional country they're in, so you don't know the full rules or where the borders are and stuff like that. I would have liked to see more of Stephen Yeun's and Matt Berry's characters. I thought they were maybe some of the most interesting, but they kind of had these very small parts that just gave you glimpses of who they are. And I think a few more emotional scenes would have made it a little better. It was always kind of like joke after joke, and I didn't really feel deep love between these two people. I did have a lot of questions about one thing, and I'll just be honest right now, this is a spoiler alert, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. I want to know why Dolores was smuggling cabbages, and how long has she been doing it? Who is the buyer? Was it her first time? What's the story behind that? Why did she not do it or talk about it? How did her husband not know? And I mean, I guess you find out he does know, but I mean, there's just a lot of questions about that. And at the end of the day, it kind of bothered me. And I was like, to have this whole movie and you're not going to reveal the one thing. I mean, I had a lot of questions. I'll just say that. But overall, I thought the movie was pretty funny. Bunnylovr, a cam girl navigates a toxic client relationship while reconnecting with her estranged, dying father and exploring complex relationships and family dynamics. Apologies if I butcher these names. Katarina Zhao, Austin Amelio from The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. He's the one guy with the scar on his face. Harry Jung, Rachel Sennott. I mean, I love her in Bottoms. I love her in everything. I like the movie enough. Parts were good. I like the uneasy online relationship with a man and 2 bunnies. I like the father-daughter grifting team. I desired more from each of the storylines. I felt like 3 different movies, and I was only getting like snippets of each. I would have rather followed only one of these storylines for the whole movie. There's just too much going on for me to feel emotionally invested in a lot of these characters, which is crazy because she could have made 3 separate movies. I would have liked all of them. I know it. And then she put it all into one. I just felt like it was too much. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Love Brooklyn. 3 longtime Brooklynites navigate careers, love, loss, and friendship against the rapidly changing landscape of their beloved city. That's from IMDb. Sometimes I don't say these names out loud and I don't know how to pronounce them. Please just roll with me. Andre Holland, Nicole Berhe, DeWanda Wise, Roy Wood Jr. from The Daily Show. I liked it enough. It felt like an Insecure episode or maybe a Woody Allen movie. It's kind of just, you mostly follow this guy and all his relationships in the city, smoking weed, dating, hanging out with friends at the park. It reminded me a little bit of the 4 Sunset trilogy, but it didn't have that rawness of it. I like the relationships and the banter. And Nicole Berry is beautiful and sexy, and I got a huge crush on her after this movie. I didn't agree with the message that men and women can't be friends, quote unquote. It wasn't as good as Before Sunset or an episode of Insecure. That movie and show just hits different. I wish Roy Wood Jr. was in a little more. I thought he was the comic relief for the movie, and he's in it for maybe 3 minutes. Omaha. After a family tragedy, siblings Ella and Charlie are woken up by their dad and taken on a cross-country journey, experiencing a whole new world. As her adventure unfolds, Ellie begins to understand understand things might not be what they seem. Got Jar Margrove, Molly Bell Wright, Wyatt Solace. This is a road trip movie, and they're headed to Omaha from Nevada. So I've been on that trip. It's very reminiscent of driving down I-80. I really enjoy that drive. The children and dog made the movie good. These kids are great, and the animal and everything. And I could feel their joy and wonder on this unknown trip. And I don't know, it's kind of like that nostalgic feeling, or something that kind of wish you were on. It did bring up some of those feelings in myself of like thinking back to my own childhood and when things were uneasy and how I felt, but how we all as a family try to keep it together and stuff like that, even though my family did not do road trips. But the thing I didn't like about the dad and the movie, and it's just another spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3. Remember, just fast forward or pause it. There's 1. Okay, the dad seems like he's doing his best to make his children be comfortable. Then he gives up the dog to a shelter about a third of the movie in, against his children's wishes, and this destroys the kids. The dog was family, and that's all they had. They had the 2 kids and this dog and the dad, and they're on a road trip. And then they just play with this dog in a field with a kite, and he's just watching this happy moment. And then like the next scene, the dad's taking the dog to a shelter. The movie is about a man driving to Omaha to abandon his children. Okay, that's what the movie's about. And this is after you watch these scared but happy children enjoying themselves on this road trip. I mean, the movie was quite unique, but the ending of the movie angered me, and I felt no sympathy for the dad. He seemed selfish. I wish he would have talked himself out of it or something. I mean, before I say anything else, like, the man had issues, obviously. This is about a movie of, you know, a widowed dad. Okay, I get that. Maybe he had money to support the kids or something. I don't know. And they didn't explain it much, and you don't. But here's a better ending. Dad drives to Omaha. We see him abandon his children, and it cuts to reality. He decides against it. He looks at his son and daughter. He opens up to them on how his mental health is, and he breaks down. Then his daughter finds him help at the hospital. She becomes his rock in these turbulent times, just like he was to her. Something about this movie just is like a gut punch, and then at the end, another gut punch. And it's just felt kind of mean in a weird way. Maybe that's the purpose of it. I don't know if other people felt that. I always respect filmmakers, and I do like that it made me feel something.